Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel and thank you again for watching. Today is Sunday, December 5th, day 5 of Vlogmas, and we have gotten up. I'm having some coffee. I'm having a little bit of different coffee. I normally have the cafe au lait from H-E-B, but one of our friends, Will, went to Hawaii and he brought us back a thing of coffee, so we made it today to enjoy together. Not a lot of plans today. We're just trying to catch up on the other things I didn't get done yesterday. Probably gonna try to do the tree upstairs. My friend Jenny and I are gonna go get a pedicure together at some point. And then tonight we're making Caesar salads, and we're gonna do steak on top. That's like grilled skirt steak. So I'm probably gonna set that to marinate, and I think I'm just gonna put it in some Caesar dressing. I know that's not really like a traditional marinade, but I think it would be really good. So I'm gonna do that today. And then Adam's gonna actually get the lights up. He was kind of upset because he did get like all the leaves picked up yesterday, and then this morning there's like more leaves in the backyard already. And he was like, cool. And I was like, it's okay, like there's no leaves in the front yard, so he's gonna get the lights. And we basically do something really simple, just across the top of the first story of our house and then like down the side of the pathway. And then I have some old decorations that I'll show you guys in a little bit that my grandmother made, and they're like really in need of repair. And so my sister have been working on them for a couple months now, but it's taking a lot longer than we expected. So I'm hoping that sometime this week we can get those like finalized and done and put up, but I do need to find some way to get like stakes in them, and then like you put a stake behind it and it has like a little loop that attaches to it with the wood piece. And then we also need to get some like lights, like spotlights for them to like illuminate them, because they're just plywood that's painted. So I'll show you those two. We have a couple pieces that I had bought, like a Santa Claus and a Mrs. Claus that I had bought at a garage sale recently, that I think we're gonna get those up, and they're similar, but they're much newer than the ones my grandmother obviously had made. So that's kind of the plan for the front yard. My neighborhood does have a competition every year, and it's actually run by the women's club. So I'm actually in charge of the competition this year, where I need to gather up some ladies to actually go and evaluate the neighbors' houses and give a prize to who gets, there's like 3 different categories. So I don't think we'll win this year because I'm on the committee, but who knows, maybe they'd make an exception and say we had a really great decoration, but we'll see. People do a lot better stuff than what we do. So we're just trying to like look festive enough. So I'll take you guys along and show you what we have going on, and then we'll end tonight with a Caesar salad. It's gonna be delicious. So I'll probably start my day actually by showing you guys how I'm gonna marinate that steak. Okay, so Adam just told me that Rebel met another dog outside and his name was also Rebel, but then like they were playing and talking, and then that Rebel like peed on my Rebel's head. So now I need to go like clean him up. But I'm gonna quickly show you guys how I'm gonna marinate the steak for tonight. I basically have this like super discounted skirt steak, and it's not really all that big. I think it's about 1 pound of meat. Yeah, just a little bit over 1 pound. Nolan Ryan beef from Kroger's, the Kroger haul. This has been in the freezer, so I thawed it last night. And then I have this Primal Kitchen Caesar dressing. And this one is from Costco. It's a plastic bottle. You can buy this online like Thrive Market and like at Whole Foods in a glass bottle, but they sell it at a 2-pack at Costco right now. So I have been getting this there, and this one is almost empty, and then I have other ones in the pantry that we'll use for tonight. So it's gonna be a super simple salad. Romaine lettuce that I'll clean and chop up really finely. Parmesan cheese, and then we will add the Caesar dressing on top with this steak. But since there's a little bit in here, I'm just gonna marinate the steak with this. I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to it, possibly. Yeah, I think just a little bit of water, maybe some Worcestershire sauce as well to kind of thin it out, give it a little bit more salt with that Worcestershire sauce. And then I'm gonna put it into this container that I use to marinate meats all the time, put it back in the fridge. It'll be in the fridge for about 5 or 6 hours before we actually cook it. So that's plenty of time to get a good marinade going. So I'm just gonna open up this steak and put it in here, and I'm probably gonna spread it out a little bit since it's, yeah, and I'm not gonna grab that yet because I don't wanna get my hands all dirty, but I'm gonna take this bottle of the dressing and then just add a little bit of the Worcestershire sauce into here just really to thin it out so that I can pour it over the steak. And then I'm probably gonna add a little bit of water as well. Okay, so then I'm just gonna shake this up so we can get all of the little bits of Caesar dressing out of there. Make it more thin, like a marinade. Now it's more liquidy, move it around. And then now that I know I'm just gonna recycle this bottle, I'll touch the steak so I avoid any cross-contamination. So this steak, it's actually kind of frozen still in some places. And it has a lot of fat on it. I might cut some of the fat off of it before I actually put it on the grill. And actually, I'm not gonna put it on the grill. Adam will probably do that for me. And it looks like it could be folded over right here at the end, but it's kind of hard to tell right now. So we're just gonna put it in here as is. And then I'm just going to cover it with this marinade. And you can see like that work to get all of the little bits out of the bottle. And then we're just gonna cover it with this. And that little bit of extra Worcestershire sauce will help break down the meat a little bit to tenderize it before we put it on the grill. Okay, so this just goes straight into the fridge, right on top of the egg bites that I did yesterday. I just like to keep them in these containers for as long as I can until I put them into another container and I take them out of the glass jars and wash all the glass jars. Looks good. Just simple lights across the front. And then these on the walkway. What? Roots. Oh. And these two I got at a garage sale for 40 bucks for both of them.
What about here?
I mean, it doesn't really matter where they go as long as you can get the steak in.
Center, like right here?
I mean, yeah, that's like the center of the bed, but it doesn't really matter. Like,
I think I'm on to something.
Okay, perfect. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Right there or something?
Yeah, I'll put like the light in the center and hopefully it'll shine on both of them.
Are you gonna do that today?
I'm gonna probably have to order some on Amazon. How do you feel? Decorations are done.
I feel like it's not winter right now.
Yeah, you look pretty sweaty. Wearing shorts, putting Christmas decorations out. This is Texas, right? We had to take Rebel's sweater off because he was getting too hot. So most days for lunch, we just have leftovers. So I just heated up some of this Italian meatball soup that I had made the other night. It has Swiss chard in it, which I really love. Pork meatballs, tomato paste, lots of seasonings, and fire roasted tomatoes. And then I'm just gonna put some in a bowl for myself with some Parmesan cheese on top. Big spoon for Adam, small spoon for me. And this will be like our lunch. Hopefully we can get rid of this because we have several other leftovers in the fridge that we need to eat up as well. So we basically have leftovers for lunch every day, and then I make a fresh meal almost every evening. Some nights if we have leftovers still, we will eat them for dinner, but that's only if like Adam doesn't come home for lunch every day of the week, which normally he does. Okay, so I just got done with my pedicure with my friend Jenny. It was so much fun to catch up with her. She got me an awesome bottle of champagne for Christmas. That was so sweet of her. And then I headed over here to get Adam's truck washed. He wanted to get this done today because he just had a lot of stuff on his list of things he wanted to do. And so I volunteered to take the truck to the pedicure and then get the truck washed so that he wouldn't have to. And then on the way over here, I stopped off at Kroger because I knew that we needed more Parmesan cheese, of course, for our Caesar salads. So I picked up some Parmesan cheese, some milk, and then of course I went by the clearance items and found a few clearance items. And I think I'm gonna show them to you now because I'm in this line like for the vacuums right now, because I was gonna vacuum his car out for him. And it seems like we have time because nobody's moving. I'm next. So I got some of these spicy uncured burritos. These were $1.09 each. So I picked up 4 of these in the freezer section. I got some of this jalapeno and lime sauerkraut. This one's raw and probiotic filled, which I've been trying to eat more of during breakfast. I haven't tried it before. It's a Simple Truth organic brand though, so it looks like it might be good. And jalapeno and lime, so hopefully that's good too. Then I also picked up some Olipop's. If you haven't had it before, it's like a probiotic soda, and it is, this one's strawberry vanilla. It's called like a sparkling tonic, so it's like a substitute for a soda. This one tastes kind of like a Big Red. It says it has prebiotics, botanicals, plant fiber, and they're really expensive online. So like this one is $1.29 at the Kroger, and it's originally $2.49 there, so I picked up 2 of them because Adam likes to drink these as something different. And then the last thing I got on clearance was 2 of these Kim Crawford like individual rosé cans. So I would just have these upstairs in like our drink fridge in case we wanted them. It was $4.49 for 2 of those. So just like a quick like $20 pop in and see if I needed anything or anything that I could actually use. And somebody's pulling out now, so I'm gonna go pop in here to get the vacuums going for the truck. I'm just gonna quickly show you guys how I chop up my lettuce for salads. I have my salad spinner here that I put it in. It's filled with water and just some little, like a little bit of splash of vinegar to soak. I already started this one. Let me get you guys another one though. So this is like a romaine heart, and that means just basically the exterior pieces are removed. I buy them in a 3-pack, and how I do it for our salads is I cut off honestly 2 to 3 inches at the top. This stuff right here is not as crispy as the rest of it, although it is more green. You could save this and use this for like sandwiches or wraps. This stuff would be really good on that. We don't eat a lot of sandwiches or wraps, so unfortunately I do just throw this away, which is probably wasteful, but this is how I get the best salad out of it. So now we're getting here where we have just more of a dense leaves, and then I'm going to cut down the center like this, long ways, and then I'm gonna turn it just a 1/4 turn and cut the other direction, and then I'm just going to slice it down the side. And then I also try to rotate it as I do that, because you can see that some of these pieces end up here because your knife just sometimes doesn't get it. So I try to rotate it as I'm doing it so that I can make sure that I get all of those end pieces as well. And what you end up with is like a pretty good dice on this, to where you have like some pieces here that I think attach to dressing really well. And so I'm gonna put this into the salad spinner here, add water, and then soak it. If you wanted to do like more of like a taco style, what I would do is I would start shaving really thinly here and making my cuts very, very thin. And when you do that, you end up with much finer lettuce. And I do this when we make tacos or nachos, but when I'm doing the regular salad, I use this stuff. So hopefully you can see the difference in those 2 kind of cuts there, so that I can have a different type of lettuce for depending on what I'm making. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all 3 of these and put them into the salad spinner and then get them ready. And then basically when you get to the end here, it's up to your preference how much you wanna keep cutting off. I always try to pull the brown pieces off, but you can cut all the way to the end if you really want to, but I typically stop when it gets really dense and most of it becomes pretty white. Or I try to make those cuts a little bit thinner, the slices a little bit thinner, so that you don't get really thick pieces that are really crunchy and hard, like these pieces here. A few is good, but you really don't want to have this all in your salad like every single bite. So that's kind of how I stop there, and then I'll just do the other 3. You guys can see this gave me like a full bowl of lettuce here. Again, I'm just gonna fill this to the top with cold water, add some vinegar, and I'll kind of like toss it around with my fingers to get like anything soaked off of it. There may be some bugs, there may be some dirt on here. This is organic lettuce, so you wanna kind of like make sure you don't have anything there. And then I will rinse off all the vinegar and then rinse it really well with cold water again, and then it's good to go. I have found that if you do it like this with the vinegar or lime or lemon juice, you can just put this salad spinner lid straight back on, leave it in the fridge when it's nice and dry, and it will stay good for several days. Sometimes when you cut lettuce like this, I'm afraid to cut too much because I know we probably won't eat this much of our salads tonight. But when I do it with the vinegar or the citrus, I know that I can leave it in the fridge for several days so we can have a side salad of lunch later this week, and I'm not concerned about it turning bad super quick. All right, so this is filled with the water and the vinegar, and this will just soak right here for about 10 minutes. Then I will drain it and rinse it off. And just another like little tip, if you've ever been to Chick-fil-A, I used to work there in high school and in college. And if you've ever been to Chick-fil-A and you're like, oh gosh, their salad is so good in their lettuce is so good in their salads, they soak all of their lettuce in water. All of the romaine lettuce, curly leaf lettuce gets soaked in water there. That way it stays better for longer. And then every morning when they make their salads, they pull them out, spin them in the salad spinner, they drain them off. That salad, the lettuce being in the water in the refrigerator, helps to make it crisp and keeps it really hydrated, and it has a nice bite to it. So that's just another little restaurant secret for you. Okay, so I've let the steak rest for just a few minutes here, and I'm gonna make sure that when I cut it, I slice it against the grain. So I really checked that before I put the meat on the grill. But the grain is running like this, so when I slice it, I'm gonna slice it this way against the grain. But in order to have like good sized pieces, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it into 3 sections before I go against the grain. So 2 cuts with the grain to make smaller pieces. And then I'm going to turn it the other direction. You can see it's pretty medium rare right now, looks pretty great. Good job, babe. So I'm gonna turn it sideways like this, and then I'm gonna start slicing thinly. When you do it this way, it will create, well, it's not that it creates anything. It's that it allows you to really pull apart the meat like this. Let's see if it'll focus on that piece of meat right there. It'll really let you just basically pull apart the meat, so you really don't need a knife to cut this with. It just pulls apart. This is really good if you're doing like fajitas or burritos. Anything where you have to bite down on the piece of meat and you don't want the whole piece to come out with you. You want it to just kind of pull it apart. That's what you want to do, is slice against the grain. So, tastes really good. Very basically marinated here. And I'm gonna slice the rest of this up and then get on the salad. Great job, babe.
Thank you.
That's it for today's Vlogmas, guys. I hope you've enjoyed following us along for the day, seeing our Christmas decorations we put out, as well as checking out that amazing Caesar steak salad. I'm excited to dig into that. Rebel Dog says he will see you tomorrow for a what we eat in a day. Right, Rebel? We're gonna show him what you eat? Yeah. Bye, guys.